This rustic box was a fun little project for me because it is actually a puzzle box. I made it for one of my kids, and I just think it's so fun because you can't even tell that it's a puzzle box until you go to open it. And then this locking mechanism actually makes it so that they can't get it off unless they open it the right way. So let me show you how I made it. The first step is fairly easy. I need to cut a 1x6 board into 33 inches. I then need to set my table saw so that the blade height is just slightly above 1/4 of an inch and that it's at 5 1/8 of an inch. And then I'll run the whole piece along it so that I can get a nice groove. I'll then adjust it up just a little bit so that I can get another blade's worth out of the thicker portion of the board because I need mine to be 1/2 of an inch groove. I'll then cut the 1x6 board into 4 separate 8-inch pieces. I should have just a little bit of excess at the end of this. And then for those, I will actually angle the edges to 45 degrees. I want there to be 8 inches on the back side and then 6.5 inches on the inside. These will be the sides to my box. To finish them off, I'll take a sander to them and make sure that all of the edges are smooth. I cut the bottom piece out of a 1/4 inch board and I made it 7 inches by 7 inches. I did go through and sand off the edges just to make sure it's nice and smooth. The next step is to make the box, and a good way to do that is actually to lay out some painter's tape, and it just holds everything in the right spot as you're gluing it. I then line up all of my blocks right on top of it, and this just helps it hold it in place. I'll then add a generous amount of glue to each of the seams. This is what's going to hold the entire thing together. I actually like to add it to both sides because I feel like it fills in the gaps a little bit better. And I'll also place this in the groove, which is a little bit easier to do if you actually have something that you can squeeze it in there as opposed to the brush like I have. It's a good idea to have a cloth nearby to clean up any excess because this glue cannot be stained over the top of. So if there's dried glue on your wood, then it'll stop the stain from working. Then I'll add just a little bit of glue to the actual bottom piece here right on the edge and press it into the groove. I want to make it kind of centered, and then I can add some glue to the other side and bring that side up. And I want to press it into that groove as well. And now that I have this end up and a little more accessible, I'll add to it as well. And then I just work around the entire piece, doing the same thing, adding glue and folding it until it's at the right point. Now I'll wipe off any of the excess glue that has come out of the seams. I'll press it together well, and then I flip it up on end. Once you've put some of the glue on there and you have the tape on there, it really does help. But at this point, the biggest thing is me getting all of that excess glue off because I do want to stain my wood later. Now I'll take my ratcheting strap and I'll place it along the side of it and I'll cinch it down. Then I'll go back through and take off any additional excess glue that's come out when I've gotten it nice and tight like this. I'll then remove the tape and take off any of the excess glue that was underneath the tape. I also like to put another strap right along the top, just so that it holds it evenly. And now I'll let it dry for at least 2 hours. I removed all of the straps and went back through and just sanded over each of the joining points so that it would be nice and smooth and slightly rounded. Then I cut my lid out of the same 1/4 inch board that I did the bottom, and I did it 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches so it will fit inside the box. For my locking mechanism, I actually cut it together and I made it 6.5 inches long, 1.875 inches wide, and 1 inch deep. Then I went through with the drill press and drilled 7 holes on the top, And it's important to do this while it's one piece because you want those holes to line up perfectly. At that point, I took this to my table saw and I cut it in half. So this is the piece that will go in the box. And this piece ends up being 1 inch by 7/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches long, because this part will be on the lid and it will need to go down in between the supports. These are the lid supports that go down inside the box, and they'll be 3 5/8 inches long, 3/8 inches wide, and 7/8 inches deep. This is the nail stop that will be on the lid, and it's 4.5 inches long by 1/2 inch deep by 3/4 inches wide. Before I do anything else, I'll mark where I'm putting the locking mechanism. I want to mark 1.5 inches down, 1 inch down, 2 inches from the corner, and then 2 7/8 inches from the corner. And I'll create a little rectangle there. And then I'll flip it on the opposite side, and I'll do a mirror image. I'll do it from this side. So it will go 2 inches and then 2 7/8 and 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches here. I'll then place those so that they're on the upper side here, and on those same boards, I want to place a mark that is 1/2 inch in from the lip edge. On the top, my locking mechanism will be 2 1/4 inches in, and it'll go to 3 1/8 inch. So I'll place my lines there, and then on each side, it will be 5/8 inch in. So I've got my little marks. I mark them lightly, but dark enough that I can see them through the stain. Here, I'll place where my nail stop is going to be, and that will be flush against the edge and 15/16 from both ends. So I just have a little mark here. Now, before I put everything together, I'll actually go through and stain it all because of the fact that the glue may get on some parts of it and that glue won't stain. So I want to do this beforehand. I like to have a color that contrasts a little bit with the top color, but I still want it to be somewhat on the dark side. Now, the cut side like this right here will absorb more of the color than the flat sides, so it can make just a little bit of a difference depending on that. With my stain dry, I'll go inside of my little box that I made earlier, and I'll place my glue inside of it. I'll do the same thing to the other side. Then I'll take that longer piece that has the holes in it, and I'll add 4 nails to it. Now these are 3-inch nails, and I'll place them in every other hole. I need the nail heads on the side of the box that has less space as opposed to the tips. And then I'll add some glue to the ends as well. It's nice to have a little glue on each side because it actually makes it so that it adheres better. I don't want it too messy, but I do want it to hold well, especially since this will get a little bit of strain put on it as people are trying to take it off. Now I'll try to carefully slide it down in here. I'll probably get some glue on the edges, but that's fine. And now I'll place it up on its side as I'm getting it positioned better. And this is when I take a cloth and I'll remove any excess. Now these are my lid supports, and they need to go right underneath that. So I'll add my glue to it, and then I'll place that in at that 1/2 inch mark. If you can't see it very well, then it's a good idea to just kind of double check and make sure that you are at the 1/2 inch point. Once you get that to a good point, then you can go back through and clean up any of that extra glue again. Now I'll take my other support and go on the opposite side so that it has supports on both sides. And then of course I'll double check my depth on that as well. And then I'll allow those to dry overnight. Now when I'm placing this one in, I have to make sure this is the side that was cut from the other half that'll be facing that other half, because of the fact that those holes need to line up perfectly. So now I'll do my glue on this side, and again I do a fair amount. I want it to be attached really well. This is why I went ahead and did my staining earlier, because I didn't want to risk ending up getting that glue everywhere, which it kind of does when you do it in large amounts. So now with that cut side facing where the other piece will be here, I place it on my marks. Press it down just to make sure that there's good contact there and double check my marks. And then I take my nail stop and I'll put my glue on that. But before I can actually attach that, I need to put in my 3 nails. And I need to put them in different holes than the ones on the other side. For the other one, I did 4, starting on the outside edge. So I went here, 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 and here. So these 3 will be in the center, and then every other one. And then after messing with it, I just double check my marks again. Then I'll place on my nail stop. And I want that right at the edge. Now I'll allow those to dry overnight. Now my puzzle box is all done. There's only one additional thing that I did, which was to add a small 6.5 inch long, 2 inch wide, and just 1/4 of an inch deep strip here at the back behind this portion. And I did that just because I felt like the nails went a little too far back. And I also felt that the lid needed a little bit more support on this side since it had supports over here, but not over there. So now to lock it, all I do is I put the lid on and I just kind of shift it. And if you've done a good job lining it up, it should lock just fine. Then you go to lift the lid off and it's not going anywhere unless you know how to open it. So the way to open it is actually with centrifugal force. You've got those nails and they're interlocking this way. So if you tip it this way, these ones will go down. You tip it this way, these ones will go down. Obviously, if you tip it the other way, it's not going to change anything. But if you spin it, then it will spin those nails out. Now I've found it's not 100% perfect. Sometimes it'll get it the first time. So usually I just do 3 spins. I do 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 to the right again, and then it comes off just fine. I do find that you have to spin it fast enough, otherwise you won't create enough centrifugal force to pull those nails back. I'm really excited to give this to my daughter, and I can't wait to see how long it takes her to figure out just how to take that lid off.